Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about not only the DC Comics universe and their movie and television series, but also we're talking about HBO Max. HBO Max is the big new and hot streaming service that is competing with Netflix pretty well recently. They also have to compete with another newcomer called Disney Plus, and in addition there's other ones that have been out there like Hulu and other streaming services that are trying to come up like CBS All Access and all these other ones. It's basically a streaming war, and HBO Max is doing pretty well, but they've also been making some silly decisions as we've talked about before. They've always been a very woke company at HBO. They've made many kinds of woke left-leaning shows like what they did with the recent Watchmen show that came out last year, turned into a woke piece of crap that was kind of watchable, pun intended, but it wasn't that great. It kind of crapped on a lot of the classic Watchmen stuff from the comics, from the original movie, but we're not here to talk about that. Today we're talking about something new, something related, another DC comic book that's coming to life. This time it's Green Lantern. Green Lantern is set to have a sort of TV series on HBO Max. It's still in the development phase, but so far we've heard some pretty troubling things about the show, and it seems like it's really going to get woke right away, right out the gate, and that's why we want to cover it today and get some initial reactions and thoughts and just kind of predict where this thing's going to go, because as we know, when things go woke, they tend to go broke eventually in the process. So we're going to talk about that soon. We're going to get into the details about HBO Max and its Green Lantern woke TV series, but first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. Data tracking and privacy breaches are a bigger problem now than ever. That's why I do whatever I can to make sure my information online stays private and secure, and that means using a very, very good virtual private network, and the only VPN I trust and use comes from Virtual Shield. So keeping an account with Virtual Shield ensures I can hide my location online, preventing advertisers from building profiles on me and allowing me to surf the web anonymously and securely. Virtual Shield was built from the ground up with the average internet user in mind. It's fast, reliable, secure, and it's also available on your iPhone, Android, PC, Mac, or tablet device. So try Virtual Shield yourself today, and if you click the link below this video, you'll get a free 30-day trial, which will let you experience true online protection with no risk or charges. Great, now that that's out of the way, let's talk more about Green Lantern. This article from the Bounding into Comics has more details. It says, alleged leaks reveal Guy Gardner, Alan Scott, and new black female to lead woke Green Lantern HBO Max series. So here you can see a picture of some of the classic Green Lanterns, and as the title suggests, there's going to be a new black female lead in the woke Green Lantern HBO Max series. So that's pretty typical to how this goes. Now, I brought up Watchmen in the intro for a reason, because it relates to this pretty well. Watchmen was actually a DC comic book limited series from the 80s, and initially it was your typical kind of superhero group. Even though the tone of the comic and the story was rather different, it was actually very dark and kind of the anti-hero, kind of like postmodern take on superheroes genre. But with the new show, what they did too was similar to this. When HBO went to make a Watchmen show in 2019, they decided to have a black female lead. They took over the series, they girl and black washed it. It had Regina King as the main character, which is just, that's fine. She's not the worst actor either, but she is super woke. She's known to be very woke and progressive and kind of anti-white racist. She's pro-black and all that stuff. And that's what's going on with Green Lantern, apparently. So I guess we could expect something similar to what happened with Watchmen, which isn't a good sign. Like I said, Watchmen, I watched it. It was interesting at some points. Like I wanted it to be good, but it ended up being very, very strange, very woke. They had not only this female black lead kind of taking over the series, but also they made Dr. Manhattan take the form of a black dude. Like now he's a black dude. And then all the white characters are these racists that have these white hoods in their closets. Like literally that's what happened in that series. So I wonder where it's going to go with the Green Lantern one. Let's go ahead and read on and see if we have any more details yet. A new rumor claims that not only will HBO Max's upcoming Green Lantern series feature a new ring slinger as one of the 3 series leads alongside classic Lanterns Alan Scott and Guy Gardner, but that the series will also place a heavy emphasis on woke storytelling. The first rumor surrounding Green Lantern's casting was published on November 19th when the Illuminati announced that they had uncovered exclusive info about the characters and direction of the upcoming Green Lantern HBO Max series. Specifically, alleged character details regarding the series lead, Lanterns Alan Scott, Guy Gardner, and a new character, Bree Jarta. There you can see a picture of Guy Gardner, one of the former Lanterns. The other thing I want to note before moving on is Green Lantern has had an interesting kind of troubled history of getting on the big screen. They had a movie come out. I believe Ryan Reynolds played him in around 2011. There was a Green Lantern movie. It wasn't that bad either. I watched it. I actually rewatched it not too long ago with the wife to show her what it was about. We're fans of Ryan Reynolds. We like him in Deadpool, obviously. But the Green Lantern one is kind of like, okay. I mean, it kind of comes off as like a cheesy origin story. Ryan Reynolds pulls it off. He's actually fit for that part because typically the Green Lantern, at least that version, he was very sarcastic and kind of goofy, had a good sense of humor, which is why Ryan Reynolds does well there. It's why he does well in the Deadpool part as well. But yeah, Green Lantern's had a troubled past and it looks like it's about to get worse. Guy's description reveals he is the testosterone-fueled white male foil to the other cast members, described as a hulking mass of masculinity and hyper-patriotic, like a classic action hero or pop culture icon of the 80s. The description also says Guy is a likable family man who just also happens to be a hot-tempered partier and alpha male accused of hiding his pain. So this is the description. So far, it doesn't sound bad. I mean, they're trying to describe it as a bad thing because they apparently don't like masculinity and testosterone and people being patriotic. These are things that the left hates. So I feel like them making this character, we got to remember that HBO and anything they make is going to be tinted in woke stuff, in liberal ideology. They are a very woke company, owned by the left, operated by the left, hosted by the left. They have shows like Real Time with Bill Maher and all these other woke things. And sure, I mean, I still watch some of their shows. Some of their stuff isn't that political. Game of Thrones didn't really have a lot of issues, besides they did focus a lot on the female leads, but that turned out pretty okay for some seasons. The end of the show didn't end up that well. But the point is, this is woke HBO Max. So when they describe this character as testosterone fueled and masculine and alpha male, like they're saying it like ironically, like they don't like him. They're trying to make him over the top and paint him as that's something wrong. Like they don't like patriotic people. They think liking your country is negative. They think being a man is not a good thing. Here's the description in full. It says, Guy Gardner, white male, 30s, a hulking mass of masculinity as rendered in the comic. Guy is a personification of the hyper-patriotism found in the 1980s that birthed Hulk Hogan and Rambo. However, Guy is still likable. He might act foolish, but he is not a fool. Guy loves his daughter and wife with all of his hard partying, fast driving, hot-tempered heart. But like many alpha males, there's a deep undercurrent of pain driving it all. Okay, this is just something like written by an SJW trying to write a big, strong male character. It's like they've never seen this person. The first thing that stick out to me is the fact that he might, where does it say? It says, however, Guy is still likable. So the thing they say before this isn't not likable. Like that's the thing. They act like being masculine and a personification of patriotism. They act like that's bad. They're like, oh, he's masculine and patriotic, but he's still likable. Like that's not a way you should say that. Like you should be saying he's masculine and patriotic, and that's cool, and that's why he's likable. I mean, that's part of the reason I would like that kind of character. That sounds good to me, but they're making it seem like it's a bad thing. And then the other thing that is funny is like, oh, like many alpha males, like they know what alpha males are like and what they think and what their kind of deep undercurrent of pain is. Like this is just bull. This is just them projecting, pretending that the alpha males they despise so much, the masculine people, the guys that are manly, they think they just are doing that because they have pain in their hearts, like they're overcompensating or something. And sure, that could be true. Like that happens. There's a lot of people that can be like that, especially like those types of high school bully type people who are picking on people because they feel bad themselves. Like that happens. But there's also mostly just guys that are confident and male and just fine. Like they don't have pain driving behind it. They don't have this dark backstory they're trying to cover up for. I mean, I get that that's a sort of trope in fiction, in movies and TV, but they're acting like it's a real thing and they're kind of downplaying this whole character. I think we can see where that's going. Here we got Alan Scott's breakdown, and it makes it clear he is gay, as previously reported, and that the show will try to capture the specific image of his golden age incarnation, but only as a narrative device with which to explore his internal struggle with his hidden sexuality. Here's the description. Alan Scott, white, 28 years old from the outside. Alan is the model of an early 1940s. The image of a G-man, Alan is handsome, clean-shaven, and well-dressed without a hair out of place. He has spent his young life trying to personify truth, justice, and the American way. He is already a household name in LA and is seen as hero thanks to positive press coverage. However, for all of Alan's honesty, there's one huge lie that follows him. He is a gay man, a fact that in his era could cost him his job or even his life. Now, what era did he live in? What era of the United States did we straight up kill gay people? Did gay people die if people found out they were gay? Now, I wouldn't doubt it. Like maybe 100, 200 years ago, there might have been some really bad anti-gay people and they could have gotten beat up and possibly even that went worse. I don't doubt that might have happened a few times, but we're talking about the 1940s. We're talking about 80 years ago. There wasn't like people murdering gay people everywhere. Sure, you might lose your job too. I'm not saying they had it perfect, but they're really overhyping this. And then that's just besides the point though. The fact that they're making this character gay, they're gay washing this version of Alan Scott. I don't believe he was gay in the original comics. Doesn't matter if he is or isn't. I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but they are squeezing it into this story where they first kind of have a parody of a macho man. Now they're having a gay man. And then finally they're having this black female Green Lantern. And I think it just is taking it too far. It's obviously going down that rabbit hole. It's going to be another version of the Watchmen. So I think we need to watch out for it, if you know what I mean. That about wraps things up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Subscribe if you're new, hit the bell for notifications, and until next time, have a great day.